This is Ray Dalio and he's made billions of dollars. In fact, he manages this much dollars. That's a lot of money. And we are going to teach his strategy today. The beauty about this strategy is you just need to spend time watching this one video and you don't need any more education on the stock market after this. You don't need to balance, you don't need to do anything. If you just follow this, you are good. So people out there who don't have time, who are complaining, they want to participate in this up move, but are not sure how to do it, this is your one single video. And this is not my strategy, it's accepted by the industry. And it's called, wait, before I tell you this, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and I'll tell you how this works. It's called an ETF. You're investing in an index. That's the Nifty or gold or something like that. And today, I'm not going to define what an ETF is. I'm going to tell you step by step how to actually place the orders, where things can mess up, and how people are actually doing it completely wrong. We'll go step by step and figure this out. So let's begin, but yeah, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So step number one is this. Shout out to this tweet by Zerodha to help us actually write this, because we simply took that and just copied it and made this video. So thank you, Talia. Okay, let's begin. The first thing I want to talk about is what is an ETF? Let's talk about that. So what is an ETF? You are basically investing in the top 50 stocks when you invest in a Nifty ETF. And life is like a box of chocolates, and so is an ETF. It actually has different kinds of stocks inside that box of chocolate. So Nifty 50, for example, is a collection or a basket of the top 50 stocks by market capitalization in this ETF. Now, you can also invest in a mutual fund index called a index mutual fund, but investing in an ETF is exactly the same thing, except you can say go to your Kite account and actually add it over there just like a stock. It's traded on the stock exchange. So it's called exchange traded fund. It's traded on the exchange. It is a fund, but it's traded on the exchange. You get my point. But trading it on the exchange actually has a few issues for retailers like you and me. And we'll cover all those issues here. These are all the ETFs available in the market, and they're not just equity. You also have debt ETF, silver ETF, and gold ETF. So you can participate in different asset classes via your broker platform. But also notice the number of funds is actually very low, and liquidity is also low, which means this is a very, very nascent market. There are not a lot of funds out there, and there are not a lot of participants either. Hopefully through this video, some of you understand what an ETF is, and maybe India starts investing through indices. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? The first problem you'll face is illiquidity. So notice here that when the market opens, large fund houses may buy and sell. And because of that, the first 30 minutes, there will be a lot of volatility in the markets. So if you're investing in an ETF, don't do the buy or sell in the first, say, 30 minutes when the market opens, because the volatility is a little high. Make sure you do this after 30 minutes when things have calmed down a bit. The second problem is actually entering. So think about this for a minute. Let's suppose you are investing in an ETF. Its current price is 100. There is also bid and offers at 110 and say 90 over here. So different, right? So 120, people are bidding at 80. Now the spreads are not this much, but let's assume. So the current market price is at 100, but then there are sellers willing to sell at 120, buyers willing to buy at 80 and 90. Now let's suppose you say, I want to place a market order. Market order means, jo mil jaye mujhe de do. Whatever's available, give it to me. The problem with that is, you might not get the market price. You actually might get a worse price. It won't be 10% like I've shown here, but generally, don't do a market order. Do a limit order where you specify how much you want to buy your ETF at. So you can put 100.10 or something like that and specify the entry point. So basically, point number 2 is don't use a market order, use a limit order. Also notice using this chart, these are all different kinds of ETFs. And the most popular ETF right now is the PSU Bank Bs, which means all the volume is there. On the other side, you have a bunch of ETFs which have almost no volume. There's a 80-20 rule happening here, a Pareto happening, where most of the volume is in just a bunch of ETFs. So look at the ones with B's at the end of it. Usually those guys actually have some volume. We'll talk a little bit more about volume in the next point. Now remember, an ETF is actually trying to mimic an index. So let's suppose that we have Nifty over here. So I'll say Nifty. And we have your ETF fund. So we have ETF XYZ in green. So this is very interesting because Nifty might move like this. And then the ETF, which is trying to mimic the Nifty, because it's being traded on the exchange for a variety of reasons, will not be exactly like this. Ideally, it should be very close, hugging to each other, right? But in reality, that's not how it works. It'll actually trade at a deep discount sometimes, and then at a high premium sometimes, and then meet. So this difference, right, is not good for investors like us. You don't want to have this difference over there. And this is called tracking error. This is when the fund manager, who's supposed to track his underlying properly, isn't able to do it extremely well. And there's a difference between the actual returns Nifty gave and the actual returns the ETF gave. This means when the market is extremely volatile. So this area might be an event. It could have been the COVID, where it's trading at a deep discount. This event might be something else. It could be elections. And at that time, there is high volatility. So basically, avoid investing in ETFs when there is a lot of volatility, because this will happen. And that's not good. Check out the link in the description and the comments. We'll put it somewhere. But Amphi puts out a list of all the funds, all the ETFs and their tracking error. So find the ones with the least tracking error and the most volume. So I think that data will be useful for you. Another thing you should look at is compare the ETF price on your broker platform and the ETF price on the website. So make sure that the numbers match and only then you actually invest. Now comes the most important part, and that is volume. I have a bunch of ETFs here and I can see that one of them has a grand volume of 33, not 33,000, not 33 lakh, not 33 million, just 33, as in 32 ke baad 33. So the volume is extremely low, and that is a liquidity, and you don't want to invest it. Promise me, if you find an ETF, you will check its volume, not for today, but for the last few months, and know whether the volume is high or not. If I look at, say, Nifty Bs, over here, the volume is 13.2 lakh. And it's just what, 12:30 right now. We have the rest of the day to go. So this will easily cross a very large number. Make sure you invest in a liquid ETF. To check historical volume, all you need to do is add it to your broker account, click on the chart, and you'll get this. You'll actually see the price, the NAV of that ETF and the volume. You can see whether it's not there or whether it's there, if it's significant or not. Do check historical volume. Another cool thing with ETFs is that you can create an e-mandate and actually SIP it. I don't mean sip it, but you can actually do an SIP. You can set 1,000 or whatever rupees every single month, and it will automatically deduct from your bank account and go into that ETF. It's pretty cool. It's pretty good automation. And if you think that you want to learn a little more about ETFs, we have a really nice chapter on Varsity. Our friends over there have done such a wonderful job. We've put a link in the description. Go and read about ETFs. Shout out to Karthik. As you can see, he's getting muscular and working out. Good job. Now comes the best part, actually learning how Ray Dalio creates his strategy, and we'll do that simply with ETFs, but for India, and I'm sure you'll have a lot of fun. First you've got to do is you've got to take 100 and subtract it with your age. I'm just 25, so 100 minus 25 is 75. Okay, I'm 34. 100 minus 34 is going to be my allocation to equity. So in this case, what we'll do is we will do 100 minus age is equal to equity. So how will we do that? We'll do equity in, and then we have gold, and then we have bonds. And I'll tell you exactly what ETFs work over here. So in equity, we're going to do junior Bs. Junior Bs, we've actually checked all of the volume and all that stuff. It's completely fine. Just remember everything we learned today. For gold, we have gold Bs. And for bonds, we have 5-year GSEC. Remember, GSEC means government securities. Now, all you have to do is 100 minus age. I'm 34, so 100 minus 34 is 66%. We're left with 34, so you just divide it in half, so that's 17%. 17%. That's it. The beauty of this all-weather kind of portfolio is that when the markets are bullish, you are getting a lot from your junior Bs. When the markets aren't doing a lot and COVID type stuff happens and people want to move to the safety of a different asset, gold does well. This also does well as a cushion. Even when markets are bullish, like gold just stays flat and it's a good cushion. Bonds, of course, we all understand, they're theoretically supposed to have an inverse relationship with equity, but also give you another type of cushion because some kind of money is coming fixed from the government. Although it's a small coupon, but it's a good coupon. Putting all these assets together builds an interesting kind of portfolio. And this is exactly what large hedge fund managers like Ray Dalio have been able to do and create a lot of wealth. The difference now between you and him is not knowledge. It's you deciding to do this today. It's you deciding to do this for the next 30, 40 years, unmistakably, without wavering, without getting distracted. And now it's just a matter of you going and doing it, which is actually the toughest part. Explaining this is not tough. I have an amazing team of people over here who do everything for me. I simply have to come and just talk. And frankly, it's really easy to talk. What's tough is for you to actually pause, stop scrolling, create some kind of portfolio and commit to yourself that I'm going to do this for the next 2 or 3 decades. And hopefully that'll change your life. If you thought this video was interesting and you learned something, say something nice in the comments. We read every single comment. We're a really small channel and make every video with a tremendous amount of love and try to teach with full honesty. So hopefully this actually helps you. And maybe if I see you someday in the airport or the railway station, you're like, hey, that video was good. And it'll make us feel good. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, and see you in the next video. ठीक है? Feels like I'm enjoying because it's so good for the user, right? It like feels बहुत अच्छा है. वो दिख रहा है क्या?